Hello, manifestors. Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Sylviane. I help you understand the law of assumption and manifest your desires and transform your life. So if you are interested in coaching with me, check the links down below. I have plenty of things for you. I have one-on-one coaching, email coaching. I have a free manifesting guide, a paid manifesting guide, and many other things. You can check that under the link of my website. If you're new here, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and comment. I always read your comments and answer your questions. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So what I want to discuss today, it's again, like in every single one of my videos, something that I have noticed that you are doing against yourself. And what I want to discuss today is that you are, on one hand, maybe using some techniques to manifest your desires, but you are forgetting that you are actually dwelling most of the time in a complete opposite state. And this is because you do not realize something you're doing, and you're doing every single day. And this is why it manifests. Because imagination, what does it do? It creates reality. So let's say you are doing sats, 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day, it doesn't matter. You are doing sats for a little bit of your time every day, even if you do it every day. But what are you doing the rest of the day? What are your inner conversation telling you that you are doing? Well, something I found with my clients very often is that you have completely contradicting inner stories, inner conversations with yourself. You are completely opposite of the state that you are working on when you do sats. And as Neville said, it's your dominant state that will manifest always. It's your dominant state that will manifest. What you are doing is you are living, most of the time, you are living in the past. You are reliving in your mind your past stories with the SP, with whatever it is. You are bringing it back into your mind every day. And you are telling that story to yourself and to others and to me. So you are really living in the past. But where is the past? The past is gone. In this 3D moment, you are not in the past. Your past, no matter how bad or even traumatic it was, it's gone. Where does the past live in your case? In the case, you are always going back to the past. Well, you're going back to the past in your mind. So your past is living in your mind. And what do we call this? Well, we call this imagination, right? So you are using your imagination to create more of the past circumstances that you have been through. You are recreating in your mind, therefore in your imagination, more of that past. Since you are creating it some more in your mind, it is only normal, only logical as per the law, that it's going to manifest again and again and again in the 3D, in the world of senses. This is how you get stuck where you are. If you feel that you are stuck in the same type reality that you've been for many years and many months, it's because of that. you still live in the past in your mind. You still imagine images, films, your thoughts, your feelings, everything that construct the imagination is about the past. And you would like your 3D to reflect something else? Well, it is not possible. Your 3D can only reflect what's going on in your mind. It can only reflect what's going on in your mind. So when you hear success stories of people shifting, manifesting their desires, it's the only thing they've done. They've stopped going into the past in their mind and started going into the future, into where they want to go and be in their mind. This is the only thing they have done. This is why techniques, while they are helpful, if you use techniques, but it's not helping you, to change who you are, then they are useless. However, here's one thing that it's very well underestimated. And so many of you don't even understand what it is really, and that's why you're not practicing it. And that thing is revision. So what is revision and what it isn't? Many people still, up to this day, believe that when you revise, you have to pretend that your past doesn't exist or has not existed or it never happened. This isn't true. If you hear anyone telling you this, they don't know the law, right? When you revise, you don't have to ignore what happened, because you know what? Remember what? Creation is finished. Creation is finished means that all events, all circumstances, all stories exist. And that includes the negative version that you have gone through, right? That negative event, that negative version of things that you lived through, it existed because creation is finished. And only that one, but many other bad ones as well. They all exist, but the good ones as well. The positive, the ones that you want, they also exist. So when you revise what you're doing, you don't negate what happened. You don't pretend it never happened. You choose another version of things. That's what revision is. You decide to no longer focus on that version. Okay, I've went through it. Thank you very much. Not interested. And you move on to a version chosen by you. A version that you choose. And you imagine that version over and over. But not while pretending that the other one never existed. Rather, by thinking, reminding yourself, I am choosing that version. Therefore, I'm going to rehearse that version in my mind until it impresses my mind. So with time, I will remember that version as my past, rather than the one that I went through, because they equally exist. Yes, one you went through it, the other one not yet anyway, right? Not in the 3D. But according to the law, from the law perspective, from God perspective, both equally exist. This is what Neville says about revision. Open your ears very wide. And now you have a mission. You have a purpose in life. It's a noble purpose because you have been selected to really become the chief gardener in the garden of God. And in the garden, you must have pruning shears. And pruning shears is revision. You simply revise, and as you revise the day, you repeal the day. For the day is not slipping into the past. It does not recede as people think. It is always advancing into the future to confront you, either pruned or in some strange weed-like state. So basically what Neville is telling us here is that when you don't revise a negative event, a negative circumstance, it doesn't disappear into thin air. It doesn't recede into the past, as he says, right? Rather, it advances into the future. And that is exactly what I see many of you do. Instead of revising, you keep on telling me weeks after weeks, month after month, not to say some of you years after years, you keep on repeating to me what happened when that story should have been revised already. For some of you, a long time ago. Maybe you've never revised it because you believe that you have to pretend that it never existed and your brain can't do that. But this is not what revision is. You don't pretend anything in the law anywhere. So you don't pretend that something never happened when it did. It's very simple. But you decide to choose to pick another story. That becomes your revision. So when you revise that negative event, what happens is you stop bringing it back, advancing it in your future. And by advancing it in your future, you're preventing yourself from manifesting your desire because most of the time, your desire is at the other hand of your negative story. So since you're way heavier on the negative story, well, your manifestation cannot show up. So when you revise, guys, remember, first of all, if you are bringing back over and over a negative, whatever it is, a negative story, you need to cut it off, right? You need to cut the bleeding, so to speak. You need to stop that. And the best way, maybe even the only way to stop it, is by removing the focus, right, that you have on that thing. And the best way to remove the focus is to focus on another story, another version of that thing, a complete different version. And remember, it's not because you went through an event that it is more real than the one that you create in your mind, because all of them already exist, because creation is finished. So stop bringing back the old story. I'm going to be more and more severe with you guys when you are going to bring back the old story to me as a client. I'm not going to let you do that again, not even another minute or another second. You have no excuse. You don't have any more excuse than I do and all the people who have managed to change their lives, right? As Neville said, and I repeat that all the time because it's so true. I've repeated again lately, I don't even remember where, I think in my coaching group. Your desire to change needs to be stronger than your desire to stay the same. Otherwise, you will stay the same. Yeah, I think I said that in my last video, by the way. Well, let me say it again. Your desire to change needs to be stronger than your desire to stay the same. Otherwise, you won't change. So if you keep on bringing the bad memory, well, maybe because you were taught that by revising it meant that you had to pretend it never happened, blah, blah, blah. Well, but that's not true. Nobody told you that. Maybe some coaches that shouldn't be coaches of this law anyway. Nobody asked you to pretend that anything didn't happen. Everything exists under the sun. Creation is finished. So yes, it existed. We got that, right? But you decide, because your desire to change is stronger than your desire to stay the same. You decide, okay, I'll stop the bleeding there. I stop the focus on that story. And I'm choosing another version that also exists, not just because I never lived through it. Yes, it does exist regardless. And I'm choosing to focus on that. And as anything in this 3D world, we have to repeat. Persistence is key in this world of shadows. You have to repeat and repeat and repeat that imaginal act, that revision, until it becomes stronger and stronger, until it becomes dominant. Once that story is your dominant story, you'll stop reproducing your past, and you will open the door, finally, to your manifestation. I hope this was helpful, guys. Please let me know by giving me a thumbs up and also comment, ask me a question. I always enjoy your comments and questions. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.